and welcome to another episode of Sheriff's Garage. Today I have brought you another beauty in automotive industry and an icon. A Porsche 911 997.1, which is the generation produced after the 996, and these numbers are internal designation from Porsche manufacturer to determine what type of Porsche we're talking about. The 997.1 or Gen 1 was produced in 2004 after they ended the production of 996 model, which had the fried egg in front of the headlights, obviously. And the one of the most beautiful changes that they've done to this vehicle is to go into a round oval shape of the headlights again, and we'll show those in detail, and we'll go all over the features. They also upgraded this new fascia with a separate signal light on the bumper. The 997.1 comes in several different packages and platforms. This particular model is a 2006 997.1 3.8 liter naturally aspirated Carrera S. Produces about 355 to 360 horsepower and approximately 400 pound-feet of torque. Obviously, the engine is in the rear. It's a flat six, and because of how low it sits behind the vehicle, the center of gravity is extremely low, and the driving capabilities and driving pleasure of this car is beyond imagination. It's such a joy to drive this car, and one of the things that I absolutely adore about this particular Porsche is that it's a six-speed manual transmission. And when you drive a Porsche, you want to drive the manual transmission one and have control over all the driving features. Let's go ahead and move to the engine section of the vehicle. This beautiful Carrera S badging on the rear hood. When you open it up, you are welcomed by the badge of Porsche 3.8 liter. And since it's a naturally aspirated and obviously non-turbo, you do not see any turbos placed here, and a beautiful clean engine that produces miles per gallon every mile that you drive this beautiful car. So again, because it's a flat six, it really sits low, and it's in the rear, so the center of gravity is extremely low, and the driving of it is fantastic. When we go to the front of the car, in the front area, I'm going to show you. Hot! So here in the front section, we have a very roomy area for keeping your belongings. Not preferably a good size for golf clubs or golf bags. You may want to consider a different vehicle if you're going to go play golf or put it on the passenger seat. But here in this front section, we have the CD changer and some items that are located, tools and jack area. You can also access it from the top, and under this cover is the battery of the vehicle. So, and washer fluid reservoir is sitting in that corner. So pretty simple, pretty uh, convenient, I would say. So let's go ahead and take a look at the uh, interior features of this beautiful 911 Carrera S. In 1948, when Dr. Porsche designed the legendary 356 air-cooled Porsche, um, they had to do some models for homologation and racing purposes. For that reason, he decided to keep the ignition turn on key on the left side of the steering wheel instead of the right side. And his reasoning was for the races that the drivers had to essentially run into the vehicle, start the car, and drive away instead of what we see today in modern racing, that every driver is ready to go when the light turns green. In approximately 60 to 80 years ago, they had to stand on the side of the racetrack, run to the vehicle, jump into the car, turn on the ignition, put it into the first gear, and start driving. So for that reason, Dr. Porsche thought my drivers will lose time if they use their right hand to turn on the ignition and then bring their right hand to the gear lever. And for that reason, he decided I'm going to use both hands, turn on the ignition, foot on the clutch, at the same time, first gear, and boom, ready to go. And for that reason, the legendary design of the left side key for Porsche's stayed the same for all these years. And that's a cool fun fact. I hope you enjoyed it. But anyways, this when you come to this interior, you're welcomed by a beautiful steering wheel. Let me just turn the wheel. Uh, it's a very nice size of steering wheel. Horn on both sides of the steering wheel. Very simple, very driver focused. And the dashboard material is soft for a 2006 model. Still a very good looking and very healthy, not cracked or blown up dashboard as you see in this example. This particular car has approximately 68,000 miles, being a 2006. It's a very good low mileage vehicle, and because it's a Porsche, for the testament of longevity of Porsches, uh, it will go for still many years to come. We also have a manual gearbox here, 6-speed manual gearbox, very crisp. I love the gears in this car, and a manual handbrake instead of the digital one or the electronic handbrake. Hazard light switch, unlock for the doors, and the vents for the AC are very nicely positioned here. Um, Also, the car comes with cup holders. When you open this feature and press it nicely swivels towards you, and they also open up for larger uh, beverages, and they also have on the other side of it. And they nicely go back without taking any space and close nicely. The glove box compartment is right here, and this previous owner loved to listen to Bob Marley apparently. Nice. The seats are very comfortable and they're still in very good uh, health condition as far as the material goes. They're perforated, so uh, you really have good uh, venting through the seats. We have the lights, the reading lights or dome lights up here, and this switch right here opens up and closes the convertible top. We also have a 12 volt socket right here, ashtray, and also another compartment right here to keep your belongings. I'm gonna let you take a look at the movement of the rear spoiler and see how it goes up and down. A very cool feature when the rear spoiler goes up, there is a hazard light here, so when you brake you can see that there is, I'm gonna hit the brake light. The 997.1 or Gen 1 uh, resolved the issues of IMS bearing problems that the Porsches had in 996 models. And for that reason, these cars have gone up in value slightly, and they have become sort of a future classic vehicle. And the driving experience is fantastic. It's such a joy to drive this car. You can easily daily drive this vehicle, and also if you want to do it over the weekend, still not an issue. But a very proper driving machine that Porsche produced in 2004 to 2008, and after 2008 they went to Gen 2 of the 997. But it's a wonderful car to drive, such a great feeling, the sporty feeling. The rear of the car is heavy, and at the same time it's light enough to maneuver through the turns, and if you want to go between the cars and be naughty a little bit, you can obviously do that as well. One of the very cool features of the dashboard cluster of Porsche 997.1 is the fact that everything is still very analog, and the tachometer is in the center, so you can rev match and with the sound of engine change the gears. The speedometer, the oil temperature gauge is on the left side, and the oil pressure level is on the right side. We have the water temperature gauge and the fuel gauge also, which is very simple. One thing that I feel like Porsche did slightly poorly on the design, and that's why they made this groove here instead of completely continuing this line to be a circular line, was to be able to see those two uh, temperature gauges as a result. And yet, still sometimes it's difficult to see them because of this non-oval shape that we have here. But in the recent years, they have slightly improved that issue. But it's a very classic looking and very functional, and I love that. The orange needles with the silver background, very good looking dashboard cluster. I hope you really enjoyed this review of this Porsche. I certainly enjoyed, my entire team enjoyed filming and directing. And again, appreciate every single one of you guys for subscribing and allowing us to do what we passionately love to do. This is a joy, and I hope you consider subscribing to our channel, even though you have many options to choose. But we would appreciate it if we can be one of your main providers of the car information in YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Until next time. See how comfortable you get in here? You sit down. Let me open my legs. It's not roomy. Look at my legs. Help me! Without further ado, cameraman collapsed.
One eternity later.
Thank you. Gotta keep this camera cool.
Hot!